Now, it doesn't matter what pay. And like I said, I totally respect the, I don't know your opinion, but we all probably have been there. You might think just because he was in the military, we have not been there. Yes, we have. We have bills too. We have a daughter that just graduated college. We are all in the same boat. And if we choose to say, okay, hey, you know, let's go ahead and take the freeze for 6 months to wait for some of the projections to come through to help our school system, do we have that option? That's what I'm asking. I'm not asking all the teachers to go ahead and say, yeah, let's go ahead and take the, you know. Yeah. I'm just trying to,
I don't think you can do it by a case-by-case basis.
Appreciate it.
I just,
I don't think it's any way to.
because if I budget, or if we budget our family, if we know we're so much in a hole, there's not going to be no more McDonald's for a week or so. You know what I'm saying? We're going to have to cut somewhere. And that if that means our going out or things like that, you just got to cut it.
We're going to take a harder look at all of that.
Craig, I know you're going to bring this up, and I just want to make sure that all you all, I mean, everybody knows if you don't, you've already voted to freeze it.
Yeah.
So it's
That's already, yeah.
Okay, so everybody starting July 1 with checks is what she was telling everybody. Starting July 1, that's already going into effect. It's not a,
Yes.
you're not having another board meeting before then, it's already done.
Yes.
Just so everybody knows.
And as I said, and I give my word, I will vote to rescind it because I'll make that motion. Whether or not it passes, I don't know. And the basis of that is that, you know, faced with what we was faced with last week, I mean, we had to come up with damn something just like that.
I mean, I don't
It's
know
hard,
about
and
dragging on. I'm
it's,
pretty sure everybody's on the same page.
and it's tough to make a decision like that all at once.
Would you go over that again, Sandy?
Well, I'm just saying too, though, I'll have to get letters if the spending freeze is going to stay in effect. I'll have to send out letters tomorrow to notify everybody within 45 days of the first day the students are there of the spending freeze. I do have to do that.
Well, it's not on the agenda tonight.
I understand, but
Yeah,
I'm just making everyone aware that legally, we will have to send out letters to everyone in a general statement to say, yes,
that it is in effect. But we can find, you know, my whole thing is find the money elsewhere. I mean, find the money elsewhere. It's just like the money and stuff that, can you give us any figures on, Michael, how many students do you have in your school?
330, 340.
So you got 330,
Okay.
340. So you should get your school supply thing should be, what, 33,000? Something like that?
We usually get somewhere around 36, 30. We've been at 350. Normally, we're down about 20 students right now. So.
Okay, but you should get $100 per kid, and you should get, it'd be $33,000 a year. And that's your, and that's your school
And we haven't
supply.
we've only gotten most of the time to pay for the contracts that we have, like with our copier leases. Those are contracts that we have entered into, so we have agreed to pay those, so we have to pay those. That's usually, like this year, that's all we got, plus just a little bit more. I mean, maybe what?
So you don't get any.
5%, 10%, maybe.
All right, so how much how much of a percentage cut, you know, would you say of the $100?
We got.
they may have gotten 15 to 20%.
We might have gotten about 8,000. We might have gotten $10,000, 10 to 15 at the most. This
So
year.
you're talking about way less than half.
Oh yeah.
Around maybe, well, if you got $8,000 and you got less than 25%.
No, that paid our lease. We have a lease with a copier company that we had to pay, and then we got an X amount. We got an X amount to spend. If you had a lease with somebody, that automatically came out. Whatever was left, you got to spend it.
Is there any?
That was.
Because there's no other principles here. I mean, actually, you're supposed to get that money. That money can't be touched. You're supposed to get that money. Principals, site-based council, when these schools.
I think it was taken 2 years ago because we were getting close to not making contingency. I think Dr. Kessler, that's how it started. And then this year, I think pretty much forecasted to look where we're at right now. I think.
Yeah, but it's not supposed, yeah, but it's not supposed to be that way. I mean, it's by statute that you're all supposed to get it. We can't, I mean, I want to make a motion that actually that money be restricted. In other words, if we owe you $33,000 a year, that we would pay you that, and the board shouldn't take that back. In other words, we have to pay you that. We can't. Well, I think that we can, restrict that fund, restricted in the sense that we have to pay it to you, but we can't tell your site base how to spend the money, in that sense. But I'd like to see something, of course, we'll have to address it, future. Where you get that money, regardless of what. If we cut anything, we cut
Before the
other things.
pay raise, and I understand where you got 23 people, right? I mean, you teach
Well, it affects
five.
everybody. I'm
I'm looking at the 23 increase, and I've taught. I'm looking at 10 years. I'm going to get a little bit of raise there. I mean, it don't come about, and we're looking at 23 people there. That's really affecting me and everybody else, right?
Roger, can I speak? I'm one of the 23, and it's going to affect me for 10 years and my master's.
Yeah.
But it's approximately,
Does it
if
affect
I'm
the
not mistaken,
master's?
$5,000 a year.
What's the $5,000 cut?
Does it affect the master's?
And I paid $19,000 to get my master's of science graduate on top of my class. And I coach for free.
Yeah, so there's 23, but should be really, we got 23 is really upset. But again, we gotta find somebody on 23, and I just wanna, Michael, I appreciate the apology for, I've had the greatest respect. When Michael was a student, he was a fierce competitor. He was a hard worker. I got the greatest respect for him. And that, not only that, but as far as being an educator, and I know how your teachers in Warfield feel about it. I've heard nothing but good about you. I'd like to see you reapply for the job myself. And I mean, you're going to be missed. You do a great job. You do a great job getting your teachers to buy into your ideas. I mean, you guys work together, and I think the scores and what's been going on with our proves it. Plus, when I was coaching girls and whatever, they always said Michael was the best looking administrator in the county. All right.
You guys don't have anything further, I need a.
Chairman, please just won't take me 30 seconds.
But can't you
I have
consider reapplying?
a member that his vouchers for his mileage from February until he turned them in. They're claiming that his mileage has been frozen, he wasn't notified. Wage and hour law, both state and federal, says if he's owed that, he should be paid that. Can we make sure that he gets paid that? And the second thing is, so these people aren't affected, maybe you should call a special meeting and get this done so them folks aren't affected like she's worried about.
Thank you. All right. Next item on the agenda is to approve to go into executive session for the purpose of discussing litigation. I need a motion to go into executive session.
I'll make the motion.
And the motion, I need a second. Motion second, all in favor, indicate by saying aye. 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 Any opposed?